front of a room on a stage and training somebody. And when I said to him I wasn't ready, he said to me, "You're ready and don't know it, but I know it. And the best thing I can do for you is to put you up there. Just teach what you know, Steve. You're already at what was considered like the executive trainer level. You've already recruited some people. You've already gotten some customers. Tell them what you know." I was in like the 50 customer club, and that was back when each customer was worth 1 point. So it wasn't like, we got 50 different individuals. So when he said, just tell them what you did to do that, that became a little more comforting for me, to be able to walk up and just speak from the heart. And I think that's one of the reasons that my style today is speak from the heart. Just like when Eric called me and said, "Look, I need you to do pastors training." I said, "What time?" 1 o'clock. I'm like, 1 o'clock? What's the subject? Can you email me the slides? I'm not at my computer. All right, I'm on the way. But my point is, 16 years later, sometimes you're still faced with having to jump on a stage and not even knowing what you're going to speak. But you stand up there and you give the people from here what you know. And if they get it and they receive it, they're going to implement it and they're going to use it for their business. So now, do you peak a minimum of 2 a day? We talk about this, 2 a day, 2 a day, 2 a day. Do you realize that in 2 a day, if you go through a month doing that, you've got 30 people you've talked to at the end of the month. If 90% of them don't get in, you've got 6 new IMRs. This is a numbers game, folks. You'll make up in numbers whatever you lack in skill. Don't think you've got to be eloquent. Don't think you've got to know all the facts. People get amazed when they start asking me factual stuff about products, factual stuff about the way something works. I don't know all that stuff. I've not memorized all this stuff. I don't know all the rates. I don't know all the different I don't know all the pricing. I don't know all that stuff. Why? That's not what we get paid to learn. So it's not that I'm saying be in the dark and clueless about everything, but I am saying I don't get paid to know all that stuff. I get paid to build a team of people and to teach them how to talk to their family and friends about becoming their customer. I don't have to know rates for that. And that has made us millions of dollars, not just in 5 links, but in the industry alone as well. So I want everybody to understand that, look, if you stick to this 2 a day, you can't lose. It amazes me when I see people that aren't building teams, they aren't growing an organization. I already know they're not talking to people. People start asking, what's the magic? What's the secret? What do you think? Blah, 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 blah. It's always, who are you talking to? Because when we came through the ranks in the business, let me tell you one thing I learned early on. To start this machine running, you've got to be the one to start it. It's like starting that lawnmower. It'll kind of push itself when you get it started. But you can't walk out in the garage and then just start pushing. You've got to get down in there and start pulling and getting this thing cranking first. And it may take you a few pulls, but you've got to be the one to get it started. If it doesn't start after 2 pulls, does that mean you're not going to cut your grass? If it doesn't start after 5 pulls, does that mean that the lawnmower is broken? No. So many of you start getting out here peeking a few people and they don't respond and you start thinking it's broken. You stop pulling. You think that you're going to walk out there and just take the lawnmower and not even start it and think it's going to cut your grass. It doesn't work that way. You've got to be the one to get this thing going. So when you get to a level where you may not have to be out there peaking as often, it's because you've duplicated yourself. You may not peak 2 a day when you're platinum, but when you're an IMR and you're an ET and you're an ED, you better be peaking 2 a day, every day. Because if you don't do it, whose fault is that? That's nobody's fault but whose? Yours. And your results are going to come in a ratio depending on what you're doing. This isn't rocket science. So I want you to understand, if you don't have people coming in your business, I already know you're not talking to people, at least enough, or not the right ones. And who knows if they're the right ones until you talk to them. It's not like we've got a scope that can tell the rotten apples versus the red apples. We can't tell that until we have a dialogue with those individuals. Once you have a dialogue, you've got to get good at assessing how they respond. I'm telling you, we used to talk to one of our mentors back in the day, Pasha asked him, why do you think you've built such a huge organization versus everybody else? You know what his response was? I learned to sort faster than everybody else. He said, while you're still trying to recruit one person, I've already talked to 10 more. Has nothing to do with talent. And I can tell you, he wasn't one of the best presenters, but he understood going through the numbers. You realize how many people are walking around here in New Orleans right now that have never heard of 5 Links, that absolutely needs this opportunity for their families. I don't know a living human being that could consciously say to themselves and convince themselves that they don't want to earn money every 30 days on services that everybody they know are already using. And they're paying for this bill every 30 days. The bill can never be paid off. And there's not a limit to how many thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people that you can get paid on. And that money continues to come in regardless, as long as the customers stick. I don't know somebody that says, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't want to make money that way. Now, might they not want to go out here and build it? Yes. But I'm talking about most people don't know that's possible. So we've got to get the message across that, look, this is a real legal way to make money on an unlimited amount of people paying a bill that they already pay every month. And they can never pay it off. How many of you wouldn't mind just matching the number that your outgoing expenses equals right now in residual income? If you've got $5,000 in outgoing expenses, would it be a blessing from God if your residual income was at least that? Would it be some stress lifted off of your back if you're able to earn passively what you have to pay to keep everything running in your life? From mortgage to utilities to foods to children, all of that added up. Whatever that number is, because I know everybody in here pretty much knows their number. You relatively know. You may be a couple dollars off, but you know a ballpark figure of how much you need to live the life you've been accustomed to leading. And I'm telling you right now, if you could get that income to match that, and it's not the cab bonuses, not the open line bonuses, not the 50 customer club bonus, it's the residuals. I can promise you, your life will be forever changed. And that's what everybody in this room has their hands on. And we've got to get it to a point where everybody in here are making more money than their expenses require. Every single one of you, and doing it passively. Do you realize what type of a beautiful thing that's going to be? When that becomes your reality, if you don't quit on your goals and dreams, if you don't quit on your family, you don't quit on your spouse, guys, let me talk to you for a second. And I mean this with the utmost respect, and I love my brothers. But you guys got to step your game up and get your woman, wife, fiance, girlfriend, whatever situation you've got, get them home. Get them home where she does not have to get out here and work for anybody. Make sure that you're the breadwinner. Ladies, can I talk to you? Don't rely on a man. I'm telling you right now, you've got too many examples right here in this company of success where they did not wait on a man to do anything. Look at Pastor Carter. Hit the position that will be equivalent to SVP in our former company independently of me. We met the day that we both hit that position. Backstage after we got promoted. There were 10 promotions that weekend in Columbus, Ohio in 1998. 10 promotions, random order. She was 8, I was 9. She was backstage when I came off the stage to go backstage. That's how we met. So this was not one of those, what have you done? This was, I got it done. And that's why it was such a beautiful merger. So I'm telling you, ladies, you can look at Pasha as an example. You can look at Tashina Pettiford as an example. You can look